Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, what's our story about?
Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars. Who would have guessed?
Can you make this be in that long thing again?
Mm-hmm. You gotta put them together just like so. Now then, should you get us started?
Once upon a time in a galaxy far, far away.
Our story begins this evening with a young lady named Rey.
No, we're doing.
Oh, I thought you said last time you wanted episode 9. Which episode do you want, kiddo?
I'll tell you which one I want.
Okay,
I'll tell you which one I would like.
tell me.
First, grab my hand. Grab it. Ha.
Aha. Which episode, kiddo?
No.
Choose wisely.
I want 7.
Sorry, but 7's out of the realm of possibilities.
Why?
Because it was terrible.
What happened?
It was so bad I don't remember. I've blocked it out of my memory.
Really?
Yeah, that's the one that had Jar Jar Binks. Do you remember that one?
No.
Yeah, exactly. See?
Who's Jar Jar Binks?
He was a fairly annoying character in a pretty poor plot line. So there you have it.
What about 6?
Episode 6 is fine. That's Return of the Jedi. You want to do that one?
No. Let's get his hand cut off.
That's the original Star Wars, JJ. That's 4.
I'm 4.
Okay. All right.
Grab my hand.
Let's see. Grab your hand. It looks like you got it pretty well. You didn't need my help. Okay, ready, go. All right, lay down. Pay attention,
Do this.
relax, and enjoy our story. All right. Get us started.
Once upon a time, in a galaxy far, far away.
There lived a young man named Skook Lywalker, and he enjoyed crocheting quite a bit until one day his uncle went to the market to buy some soup and bread, and along the way ran into these crazy people running a sandwich shop named the Sand People. They made the best Italians this side of Tatooine. And Uncle Ben thought, well, I guess I'll buy me a couple of androids. There's no iPhones available. And so he did, and he took them back to Luke, and Luke was cleaning one of them. They called it cleaning, at least. And it went off. And the next thing you know, a beautiful fairy princess popped out. And she said, "Ah! What are you doing here? Stop watching me." And he's like, "Whoa, who are you?" And she goes, "My name's Princess Leia. Hi, it's nice to meet you, pal. You know where I could find some old croonie named, what's his name? Uncle Ben or something? Well, no, it's, Ben something. Ben, I think his last name's Dover. No, that's not right. It's Ben Kenobi. Can you find him for me?" And Luke said, "Yeah, actually I know where he is. I'll go grab him for you." And she's like, "Well, I'm going to leave a message. You tell him he's my only hope. Okay?" And he says, "Sure, lady, whatever. Okay." That's just a basket, my dear.
So I can use it?
Yes, of course, if you like.
What is it?
It's a basket, my dear.
Why does it have one side missing?
Because it's supposed to be screwed onto the wall for people to hang things in. Or put things in. Or something. Whatever your mommy wants to do with it. I don't know. Where was I, JJ? What's our next story? What's our next part of the adventure here? Oh, So anyway, Luke.
Flowers.
What?
Can you get me those flowers?
No, I cannot. So Luke goes to his uncle and he's like, "Hey, Uncle, I need to go see this Ben Kenobi guy." His uncle's like, "Nope, can't go. You got chores to do. You need to take out the trash, do the dishes, and mow the yard." And he goes, "But I was gonna go to Tossie Station and pick up some power converters." And his uncle's like, "Well, don't care. Gotta do your chores." And so then Luke's like, "But Uncle, the lawn is sand. What am I supposed to mow?" And he goes, "Just get out there. Don't argue with me." So he does. He mows the yard, and he does the dishes, and he takes out the trash. He's like, "Now can I go to Tossie Station and pick up some power converters?" And his uncle says, "Yes, just make sure you pick me up an Italian sub from the Sand People." And he says, "You got it, pal." And so he goes, and then they get there, and they find...
Dad?
What?
Can you, I would like you to get down and let us go on here.
Do you want to end our story time?
No.
Are we finally done with our Star Wars marathon 8-month-long season of storytelling?
No.
You seem a little bored.
Ugh.
Have we told them enough times?
No.
No? There's so many other things we could explore. There's so many imaginations we could do. Did I ever tell you about the time that I drove a pirate ship?
Really?
Yes. And I wasn't the original pirate, but I was in love with a young princess. You want to hear about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I grew up and I was what's called a farm boy. Do you know what a farm boy is? Well, a farm boy is a servant to royalty. He's a servant. I was a servant to a beautiful princess. And her name was Buttercup. Isn't that a cute name? And I loved her very much, but I wasn't quite cut out to be princely material. I was just a farm boy. And every day I would go in and I would milk the cows and feed the animals and get the eggs. And I'd make her the best breakfast, and I'd cut up fresh fruit for her every day. And every day she would ask me the strangest things like, "Farm boy, fetch me that water." And I would just look at her and say, "As you wish." I love that laugh, Jada. It's a good one. Anyway, so time went on, and we grew up together. She was about my age. I would think I was probably, 12 years old when I met her. And then one day I was 18. Next thing you know, she asked me to do something. And again, I said, "As you wish." And I did it. But this time, it almost seemed like, "I love you." I think that's what she heard, because she finally knew that I had loved her for a very long time. And we decided we were going to run off together. And when we did, we were hunted down by a man that had 6 fingers on one hand. How many fingers do I have?
5.
Yeah, this guy had 6 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looked like this. It was the craziest looking thing. Here, let's see. There we go. He had 6 fingers. How many fingers do I have?
6.
That's right. And he had a special glove made even. He wore gloves. And so we tried to run and escape, and we went through this place called the Fire Swamp. Do you know what it had?
Mm-mm.
Well, one of them would have been fire. There were 3 deadly things in there. One was ROUSSs.
What are ROUSSs?
Those are rodents of unusual size. Funny you should ask. And I don't think they even existed. I'm pretty sure that they didn't exist until one of them jumped up and bit me right in the buttocks. Can you believe that?
Where's the buttocks?
Buttocks. Right here, right on my little cheek, right here. Right, that's what it did. It started munching right there. Woo! And so I managed to get away from that and escape it. And then something else happened, and my princess, my sweet princess, she got popped up in the ground and just, and the fire swamp like lit her dress on fire, and she was like, yeah! And I put out the fire, and then we knew after that how to avoid it. Anyway, we get out of the forest, and guess who's standing there? The man with 6 fingers. Oh, I got to tell you, we were freaking out. And I'm like, no way, dude. We'll go back in the forest. We'll survive this. And she says, Buttercup says, wait. If you don't you promise not to hurt my sweet, sweet Clayton, I will turn myself in. And the 6-finger man said, you got a deal. And so she jumped on his horse and rode away. And I just looked at his other henchmen and I said, I think we both know the truth. And they said, yep, you're doomed, pal. And so they took me down into this deep dungeon. It was gnarly in there. They even had spiders that were this big. And they ate basketballs for lunch. It was the craziest thing. They also listened to rap music, which I didn't mind because I kind of like that music. And it had a really good bass line. But anyway, so the guy down there, he sounded like this. And he said, welcome to the pit of despair. And I got to tell you, JJ, they put me on this machine. They said it would take life years away from me, like make me old, right? And so here I am, I'm like 18 years old, and they put me on this machine, and it starts spinning and spinning, and it's like, wah! And it made me into an old man. And then I thought I was dead, but then my buddies rescued me. Can you believe that? One of my buddies, he was this really cool Spanish guy, and you know what he said? When I met him, he was looking for a man that had killed his father. And this man, do you know who it was? Well, I'm thinking there aren't many other men like this because the man he was looking for had 6 fingers. And I said, I know that dude. And so we ended up becoming buddies. Now, his other friend, this guy was a giant. You know what a giant is, right? He was a giant. He was big. He was like 8 feet tall. He was like, if you stood on my shoulders, he was taller than that. He was massive, right? And so anyway, they rescued me, and they thought I was dead, but then they took me to a wizard. And the wizard opened the door, and he's like, he's only mostly dead. So he made a little potion and put a little coating on the pill so it'd go down easier. And they gave it to me, but they needed to break into the castle where the princess was being held, but I couldn't quite move yet. And instead, so we get a big wheelbarrow. We put the giant on it. We gave him a cloak. And then he's like, we go up to the door. There's 30 soldiers standing there. And we're like, no way we're getting in here. And so we use that cloak and set it on fire. And then my buddy, he's talking, he's standing up in this thing. So he looks like super giant, right? Like this massive. And he scares all the soldiers. He's like, I am the Dread Pirate Roberts. I've come for your soul. And then they all ran away except for one guy that had the key to the gate. And he's looking at us like he's scared. And I said, you know what I said to him? I said, give me the key. And you know what he said? He said, no way, Jose. Not going to happen, bro. And then I looked at my giant friend and I said, you know what, Fezzik? Rip his arms off. And he goes, oh, you mean this key. And hands me the key. And then we go in and we finally get to the princess. And my buddy finds the guy with 6 fingers. And you know what he said to him?
What?
He said, hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You have killed my father. Prepare to die. And that boy waited his entire life to get to avenge his father. And the 6-fingered man, he laughed at him and then he said, let's do this, bro. Come at me. And they started this really cool sword fight. They're like, and finally he defeated the 6-finger man. Meanwhile, my friend Fezzik found all the horses. I defeated the prince and got my sweet princess back. We all jumped out of the window.
Who
It was
Prince?
the Prince Humperdinck. He was the bad guy, and he took my princess, and forced her to marry him, although it wasn't a valid marriage. So, because it wasn't even a marriage, it was a marriage. And then we jumped out of the second story onto horses from like up here where we're at right now. It'd be like if we jumped all the way downstairs from this window, and we floated down and got on our horses and we rode off into the sunset. However, I, unbeknownst to everybody else, was in fact the Dread Pirate Roberts. And I sailed the seas for many years. And before me, there was another Dread Pirate Roberts, but nobody knew. They would just change out different Dread Pirate Roberts. And when I finished, when I rescued the princess, my buddy, the Spaniard, he became the next Dread Pirate Roberts to carry on my legacy.
So, are you really the Dread Pirate Roberts?
Yes, but I'm retired now. So now somebody else is the Dread Pirate Roberts. I retired so that I could build a family and a home and be with you. You like that? Cool story, bro. All right.
Now, can we go on here?
Yes, we can go to bed. I love you.